Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
This is the closing bell on the Stock Movers Report. The companies making moves at the close of U.S. trading with Carol Massar, Tim Stenovec, Romaine Bostick, and Scarlet Fu.
Let's take a look at some of the gainers on this day today. Applied Digital up more than 48%. It's a digital infrastructure company, i.e. cloud services for high-performance computing. Shares surged, and get this, it was only the biggest jump going back to September. This after the company entered into 2 lease agreements with CoreWeave in North Dakota. Remember, CoreWeave is the cloud services company. So under these agreements, Applied Digital will deliver 250 megawatts of critical IT load to host CoreWeave's AI and high-performance computing infrastructure at its North Dakota Center campus. Also, keep an eye on what happened with steel and aluminum stocks today. A host of these companies moved higher. I picked out in particular Steel Dynamics, higher by 10% today. This after President Trump said he would be increasing tariffs on steel and aluminum by 50% from 25%. The president did say on Friday that the move would help protect American workers. This was as he visited a U.S. steel plant late last week, I should say. The president also said he would raise aluminum rates in a post on Truth Social. That post said the new rates would become effective this coming Wednesday.
Why did you choose Steel Dynamics and not the others, Tim?
Steel Dynamics was the best performer when I looked in the S&P 500 on a percentage basis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so in the S&P 500.
There's a method to his madness.
Okay. Yeah, there is a method. It was actually a hard decision. I, in fact, even looked at some steel ETFs if I wanted to do one of those.
Oh. Yeah.
But it was only moving higher by like 2.5%, 3%. I thought this was a more dramatic move. So.
All right. Well, Cleveland Cliffs up 23% on the day.
That was the
best day since 2016.
But that's not in the S&P 500.
How's that for a superlative?
It's not in the S&P 500.
Oh, my gosh.
And the market cap is only a fraction
of
what Steel Dynamics is. So, yeah, there is a method to this madness.
He's got big cap bias.
Hey, there is a little merger action happening. M&A Monday, Blueprint Medicines Corporation, higher today, just surging 26%. Sanofi agreeing to buy the company for at least $9.1 billion. Sanofi is looking to further expand its rare immunological disease portfolio. The company plans to finance the transaction with a combination of cash on hand and proceeds from new debt.
All right, and looking at the decliners right now, DraftKings falling as much as 8.5%. But it actually ended the day down 6% after Illinois lawmakers proposed a sports betting tax increase in the fiscal 2026 budget. Flutter Entertainment was also lower, but the DraftKings drop perhaps more significant here. This was a surprise move from Illinois following last year's unexpected boost. According to analysts at Truist and Oppenheimer, they say that online sports betting operators will have to pay a 25-cent fine on the first 20 million wagers accepted and then a 50-cent charge thereafter. I'm also looking at shares.
I just want to say, too, we caught up with David Katz at Jefferies because I was kind of confused as to why the shares are reacting so much. And he said the bigger issue here was that if Illinois does this, then it gives sort of a green light for other states to follow suit, and that would be the real risk. That's his view, not mine.
Right, yeah. I feel like we typically see those fears of like a contagion effect when it comes to anything around sports betting proposals like this one. But now flipping back to Tesla, shares dropped as much as 3.8%, finished the day down 1%. A French industry association said today that Tesla sales plunged 67% to an almost 3-year low in France. And this is undercutting CEO Elon Musk's assertion last month that the car maker has recovered from its early year sales slump. And then finally, advertising agencies fell. Interpublic Group is one of them. The Wall Street Journal reported that Meta is planning to enable brands to fully create and also target ads using AI by the end of next year. And we saw this company, $8.4 billion market cap. It's an organization of ad agencies, finishing the day down 4.5%.
All right. Just real quickly, speaking of trade, we are getting some headlines here out of the border, Customs and Border Administration here in the United States saying that they have extended the pause on U.S. tariffs on some Chinese goods to August 31st. And, of course, there's been a lot of chatter today about more high-level talks between the U.S. and China in resolving this trade dispute here. And, of course, it's hard to keep track of exactly which goods and which tariffs this actually applies to. But the headline here is that it has extended the tariff pause on some Chinese goods until August 31st. Let's take a quick look at yields. They did finish up across the board and across the curve here by about 4 basis points, almost evenly. You're taking a look at that 2-year yield, still still holding just below that 4% level, your 10-year yield at 4.4, and your 30-year yield right now at about 4.9.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.